Sir, thank you so much for being with us. We've been talking about some of these right-wing conspiracy theories, many of which center around coronavirus and the use of masks in particular. If you were listening to Fox on Monday night, this was the advice that was given.
Your response when you see children wearing someone around.
What's your reaction to that?
That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my entire life, and I've heard a lot of dumb things. This whole anti-vaccine hoax is not constructive, and it's just impeding the ability to solve the problem before we have more mutations. I don't understand it. It makes no sense. Fortunately, more and more people seem to be getting vaccinated and ignoring this dribble.
But what do you think about all these lies? I mean, you just heard our reporter Oliver Darcy pointing out what we all know, which is they get fact-checked, but not before they have spread themselves like a virus.
Well, Brown, I think that's part of a bigger narrative right now, is people living in their own universe and their alternate realities, getting news from wherever they want, not checking it, and believing that their views are so correct that they can't see any daylight for any opposing opinion. That's why everything's so polarized and difficult right now.
There was a New York Times Magazine report about a conference meeting of Republicans, which happened about a month after the January 6th riots. And Congresswoman Liz Cheney, this really centered around her leadership role. She had just voted to impeach Donald Trump. And she, according to the Times, was accused of not being a team player, of having a defiant attitude. One congressman even described her actions as, quote, "You look up into the stands and see your girlfriend on the opposition side. That's one hell of a tough thing to swallow." Are you surprised by that? This is your former conference.
Well, what I'm really surprised about is Republicans continuing to go to Florida and stoke the beast here, play up to Trump. I mean, I think Liz is right. The party that I've been a member of most of my life doesn't exist right now amidst all this populism and nativism and opposition to traditional Republican principles that we need to get back to. And we can't get back to them if we just continue to placate Trump.
Last night, sir, a D.C. police officer, Michael Fanone, told our colleague Don Lemon about what he is experiencing, trauma, since January 6th. Let's listen to that.
It's been very difficult seeing elected officials and other individuals kind of whitewash the events of that day or downplay what happened. A lot of us are still experiencing the emotional trauma, and some are still grappling with physical injuries as well.
It seems like the big lie is defining the Republican Party right now, and a lot of Republicans, they do not look. They do not listen to what someone like Officer Fanone is describing about how this has affected him and police officers that the party purports to support. How do you see this moving forward as it defines the party?
Well, I think, first of all, both Liz and the Speaker are right. We need to have a focused January 6th investigation that's not distracted or watered down. That may help put some perspective on the horrible events that happened. I mean, we haven't had an invasion of our democracy that bad since the War of 1812, and it was terrible. And it also reflects the fact that, words do matter, especially by leaders. Just as Ronald Reagan and President Kennedy and FDR used words to unite America, this fellow that's been the president the last 4 years used words to break America apart and incite violence.
Former Congressman Francis Rooney, it is great to see you. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.